the test here. If you can hear me, say something in the chat. I'm gonna go look. Hey, can anyone hear me? Can you all hear me? I'm just using my phone and like no microphone. What does the sound like? Oh, I can hear my own voice. It's really weird. Oh, I can hear my own voice. It's really weird. Awesome. I want to start doing more live streams, so I thought, let me just do it. So I set it up. I've actually never live streamed with this setup. So yeah, I just wanted to show you some books. I had a bunch of books, and I was like, oh, I should do something with these. So these are actually, I put these on eBay, and for a penny in my eBay store. And so I'm trying to put, every day I'm trying to put some books there because I have so many books. It's going to take me like, I don't know, forever to list them all. So these books are pretty cool. This one is Applied Analysis by Cornelius Lanczos, which is pretty cool. Oh, I can see that. I can see the chat on the phone. This is really cool. Yeah, I do have a physics book here as well, which is really cool, Akash. So yeah. So this one is Applied Analysis by Cornelius Lanczos. This one's pretty cool. And let me show you the content so you can see. This is one of those Dover reprints. So this one's from '88. See if I can zoom in here so you can see. Yeah, there we go. 1988. And then let me show you the topics. This is pretty hardcore. It's a pretty hardcore book, just so you can see. Yeah, very advanced. So some more topics there and some more topics there. That's awesome. Awesome, from Brazil. I actually know some Portuguese. Obrigado. Yes, that's the one word I know in Portuguese. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm doing excellent. I'm doing very, very well. This is my new phone, so this is like, I wanted to try it. So that's a pretty good book. It's kind of advanced, as you can see. Someone mentioned physics. This is a really cool physics book for beginners. It's called College Physics. And there's the authors. And it's one of the Shams outlines. So for those of you that don't know, the Shams outlines are set up in a way where, they have like some content, so you learn some stuff, you go through it, they give you some examples, and then you keep going, and then they have like solve problems and supplementary problems as well. Wow, Ireland, India, really cool, really cool. Oh, someone said, "What? Hey, Ramaya, why not take them wherever I'm going?" Because I have too many. So I have thousands. I have thousands of books. Thousands and thousands and thousands of books. Thousands. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Very cool. This is a first edition of Shams outline of matrices. This one's pretty cool. I'm gonna give it a whiff here. Just smells amazing. Nice book. Really nice. And it's kind of cool to have an entire book on matrices. This one's really old. It's from 1962, so it's pretty old. Yeah, ergodic theory, David. I don't know much ergodic theory. I have one book, just one on ergodic theory, and I believe it's by Paul Halmos, but I'm not, I am by no means an expert. That's supposed to be a really good book, though, the one by Halmos, right? Yeah, Halmos. And then here are the contents of this awesome book, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is a good reference book too. So like even if you already know algebra, you can use this as a reference to learn more mathematics. And it's a Shams, so you know it has some knowledge. It's got solved exercises, as you can see, and then it has some supplementary problems. So kind of a nice book if you are a collector like me. I think I have like 2 copies of this book, but this is the first edition. Let me check the chat here. Mathematical statistics. I recommend the one by Wackerly for mathematical statistics. I don't have it in this video. Actually, no, I do have a book here on probability. So it doesn't have all the statistics that the Wackerly book has, but it's a pretty hardcore book written by Sheldon Ross. So Sheldon Ross, yeah, Shams are awesome, Physics Hypernova. What's up, man? Hi, K-Moon. So Ross is a great author. I also have his Stochastic Processes book. And this one's for beginners. This one's the first edition, which is really nice. 1976. I think Ross teaches or taught. Let me see. Yeah, Berkeley. So this dude's from Berkeley. Really hardcore author and mathematician. And here are the topics. So you see it starts with like the basic stuff, like basics of counting, permutations, combinations, the really, really basic stuff. Then probability, but it's a little bit more rigorous than like a book you would use in like an intro to stats course in college. So it's definitely a step up from that. And you'll see that in a minute here. You see it's got random variables, an entire chapter on continuous random variables, and it talks about some specific probability distributions. For example, Weibull is not something that's typically covered in a basic stats course, or gamma or Cauchy. Actually, you typically only do students T in a very elementary. Students T and normal are the ones you really, really focus on in basic stats. So a little more advanced, which is kind of cool, really good for math majors. I took a couple courses in mathematical statistics, 3 to be exact. So answers to selected problems. So it does have some answers in the back of the book. Let me show you, because I've done some exercises from this book. I have another copy of this book as well. So yeah. So it's got some, but it doesn't have enough, right? It'd be really, really cool if it had more answers. But it's a pretty good book for self-study and learning on your own. It's a solid book. He has another book, which is not in this video, which is also really, really good. It's called Stochastic Processes. I used that one for a graduate level course, and I thought that was really good. Hello, Tux. Hello from Morocco. What's going on, everyone? Pre-calculus. I don't know if I have anything here for pre-calculus. Yeah, nothing here. But for pre-calculus, there's a couple good books. The one by Stewart is good. The one by Sullivan is good. Those are both just standard books. This one is Differential Equations, and it's a Shams, so it's pretty good. This covers basically everything you would learn in a differential equations course in college, and a lot more, right? Because it's a Shams. So the Shams typically contain more information than what you would cover in any class. I mean, if you learn everything in a single Shams, you're going to become a guru for that subject. Let's just take a look at the contents, and I'll just tell you. So just so you know, I'll explain, like, what do I know from here? So let's see. So basic concepts, this is something you would study. So I've seen this stuff. Classifications of first-order DEs, yep. Separable, this is, again, really standard, really standard. You would do this in a course. Here, there's some applications which you might not see if you take a course. For example, when I've taught differential equations, I only cover some of the applications because there's only so much time. So, and then second order linear homogeneous DEs, again, really, really standard stuff. Nth order standard stuff. But then it's going to get more advanced as we keep going. Maybe I can pick up the camera. That might be easier. Oh, yeah, that works too. Let me see if I can adjust it. This is pretty cool. Variation of parameters, that's something you definitely study. Initial value problems. So all of this is standard. Convolutions, this is something that engineers use a lot of. Yeah, all this is standard stuff. Here's some more advanced stuff. Methods of Frobenius, that's something you might not study in a regular course. And this stuff here, just due to like time constraints. So you see it covers more Same thing with this, eigenfunction expansions, something you might not see. So it covers way more than what you would see like in a regular differential equations course. But yeah, it's a pretty standard book. Then I have another Shams here. Let me show you this one, guys. Check this out. This one's a first edition, vector analysis. This is pretty cool. And I wonder what the copyright. This guy, Spiegel, has written so many books. This is the vector analysis one, Danny, vector analysis. And we saw here the differential equations one. So differential equations and then vector analysis. By the way, these are all, if you check the description, there's links to every single book. And I listed them all at 1 penny because that's what I'm doing. Because that way, people who, because I'm listing so many, so there's a good chance you'll be able to get them really cheap. So yeah, 1 penny. But I have multiple copies of some of these books, so I'm trying to get rid of the ones I have multiple copies of first, and then I'm not getting rid of all my books, but I am downsizing. 1959, so yeah, this is the first edition, and then here you can see the topics. So really specific stuff, you know, and you see this stuff in different courses. Like all this stuff is, you know, Calc 3 pretty much, actually, and then tensor analysis. You don't see this in Calc 3. You just don't. Now, I've taught Calc 3. It's not something that you see. Also, some of these topics here, you're not going to see in Calc 3. And then this stuff, you may or may not see it just depending on your teacher and the students and the time and all that, because time is an issue, right? You have to cover a lot of material before you get to this in Calc 3. So it's kind of a nice book to reinforce your multivariable calculus with. So yeah, I like it. I've had this one for a while. I think I bought this when I was an undergraduate. I think that's how long I've had this book. So it's been a long time. A lot of these books I've had for like decades, right? The next one I'm going to show you is really, really cool. Let me look at the chat really quick. Oh, where do I see tensor analysis? I thought it was here. I thought it was... Yeah, let me see. Maybe I didn't see it, right? Let me look. Peace to you all. Hi from Spain. Could you upload the live stream so that we can watch it later? Yes. Yes, these stay uploaded. Yes. So even though it's a live stream, you can watch it later. You'll see it. Yeah, there it is, tensor analysis. So you see it's got an entire chapter on it. So that's kind of what makes this book unique, which is really good that you ask. Hello from Serbia. Hello, hello. Yeah, so this is a kind of a cool book that can really take your multivariable calc to the next level. This is even more important for people who are doing physics. So if you're a physics major, you really need to get good at this stuff. And unfortunately, in a regular Calc 3 class, you just don't cover, you know, it's just not covered, right? And sometimes it is, but if I'm going to be completely honest, like when it is covered, it's usually rushed. And it's not the fault of the teacher. It's just that there's just so much content in that course. In fact, and I'm going on about multivariable calc, but at some schools in the US, they actually have a Calculus 4. So they have Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, and there's a fourth course, and that fourth course covers some of the topics that you see in this book. I want to show you this one. This is super rare. This one is super rare. It's called A Short Introduction to Graphical Algebra by H.S. Hall. Look at that. Notice this. I'm holding it like this, right? Now watch this. When I turn it, you see how the title is written like that? It should be the other way, right? Because if you look at like the differential equations book, when I turn it, it's written like this, right? In this way, it's written up. So it goes left to right. It really should be this way. You see, it's backwards. It's backwards. Isn't that weird? So I've noticed that in a lot of the older books, kind of a strange thing. This one it's not the first edition. No way. The first edition is like, I don't even know if it's out there. This is from let me zoom in here, 1911. Super old, right? And this is one of those British books, you know. Those British books are a little bit harder to get here in the US. They're more expensive because a lot of times you buy them from other countries. Like I got this, I'm pretty sure when I bought this came from the United Kingdom, right? I didn't buy this from a US seller, no. This is one of those old school British books. A lot of people in India, I feel like, I've looked at Amazon India, and in India, they have access to a lot of books like this, written by these old British mathematicians. However, here in the US, it's actually a lot harder to get books like this. Kind of a random fact. But yeah. Yo, what's up? That's cool that you have the Shams. And then this one's really cool. This one is called plane geometry. This is also super, super rare. This is my only copy of this one. So I almost didn't list this one. A lot of these I have multiple copies, but this one's really, really rare. It's like in mint condition. This was published by the United States Armed Forces Institute. So let me explain what that was. That was basically like an educational institution that used to exist during the wartime, during World War II in the US. And they provided educational services for like Marines, Navy, Army, all the armed forces, right? Whatever armed forces they had there. And you see here, it says plane geometry, course 2, and it says modern school geometry. So it's based on another book, United States Armed Forces Institute. So this institute no longer exists. That's always a little bit creepy. And then you can see this is during World War II. I'm pretty sure it was created, let me zoom in so you can see the copyright. I'm pretty sure this was created because of the war, right? So they wanted soldiers to be able to get an education. And you could do like correspondence courses with them, and I think you could get a degree, I'm not quite sure. The really cool thing about this book, so here's the topics, right? You see here, it says answers. So check this out. That's page 219, right? Well, was it 219? 210. So look at this, check this out. Answers, and you have all the answers. I mean, look at all these answers. It's awesome. Tons of answers. And it's just page after page of answers. It's ridiculous. And the reason that this has answers is because this was also meant for self-study, right? Soldiers, people in the war, or people who were stationed here, civilians who were part of the armed forces, they could use these books for self-study and then take a test, either like at a location maybe, or maybe through correspondence. I'm pretty sure it was a proctored test. But the people in the armed forces could use these books to teach themselves math. So it's kind of weird. You're looking at a math book that was meant for people in the military. And it's based on another book. And so what they would do is they would choose like the best and most popular books from the era. And I've noticed that other books from the United States Armed Forces Institute also have answers, which is really, really cool. So I have quite a large collection of books, not super large because there's not that many in existence. Honestly, there's like not that many copies available. So I collected these for years. And so this one is really nice. This one's really cool, completely different. This one is called Everyday Calculus. Oh, let me read this message. Hey, how are you doing? I wanted your advice on something. I am starting college. It's a long message, so I should read it. As an undecided major, but I will be on the pre-med track. Kirkland's math major. Any thoughts? Yeah, you could do a math major as a pre-med, but what you would want to do is definitely take those courses that you need for pre-med. In Calculus 1, typically a lot of the students are pre-med students. So I would say like in a calc class of 30 students, there's probably at least 5, 6, maybe 10. Sometimes there's 12 students. Most of the pre-med students I've met, and I've met hundreds, they are typically like biomedical science or something bio, because that way they can get their prereqs, right? So like chemistry, biology, anatomy, physics. They have to take a lot of science courses because those are prereqs before applying to med school. But that's awesome you're going to med school. I know a lot of students who actually went to med school and now they're doctors. So maybe I should try to find them so I can get a discount. But yeah, you could do math. That's pretty hardcore. Just before I show you this book, I had a student once, since you asked, who took me for Calc 2, and Calc 2 wasn't even a required course for med school. So I think it looks good. If you apply to a med school and you have a high GPA and you've got all the prereqs and you have a math degree, that's pretty awesome, right? That's pretty awesome. Yep. Going to college after 3 years. Should I go straight into Calc 2 as planned or retake Calc 1? I would say, I don't know, Wizard Tower Pod. Man, I don't know. I would say maybe retake it if you're iffy. If you're iffy, retake it. If you have time, retake it. If there's no rush, retake it. It will help you. Calc 2 is the hardest, right, of the calculus sequence. So it'd be really, really bad if you went back and like maybe the teacher is okay and the class is really hard and you have a bad experience. You want to have a good experience your first semester. And I think after 3 years, Calc 2 your first semester is going to be kind of tough because you need to know your Calc 1 really well. So you could review on your own and then do it. But I would definitely strongly consider retaking it and just ask yourself how much time you have, So yeah, rigorous calculus books. Yes. Well, like Spivak, no. There's no other book exactly like Spivak, but there are good books. You can graduate to analysis. For example, uh, analysis by Apostle, mathematical analysis. That, my friend, is a super hardcore book. That is one of the most hardcore analysis books I have. But yeah. Yeah, why does math click easier than organic chemistry? I don't know. I don't know. So let me show you this book, everyone. Let me show you this book. It's called Everyday Calculus. And this book is special because I got to talk to this guy. I did a live interview with this guy. Yes, that's right. This is the author of this book, Oscar Fernandez. We met through, what did we use? I think it was Google Meet. I think it was Google Meet. Or Zoom. No, it was Zoom. It was Zoom. I think we met through Zoom. We did a Zoom meeting. And I uploaded it. It's here in the channel somewhere. And it's about his book. I didn't read the whole book. I read about half the book, maybe a little bit more than half the book. It's been a while. And basically he goes through a day in his life, right? This is a really fun book. And he talks about, that's his wife, Zoraida. He talks about, I'm pretty sure, I think, or his daughter. It's a family member. He talks about how to use math throughout the day. So like he actually gives you practical examples of how to use math, specifically calculus, which I think it's cool. People always ask, how do you use math in real life? How do you use math in the real world? What good is it for? So I think he's probably like, you know what? I'm going to make a book that actually shows people how to use math in the real world. And most of it's pretty basic. Now, this copy is not in great condition, as you can see. But this is my only copy. And yeah, so kind of a fun book. It's an easy read. He's a good author. Off topic, I'm actually doing another live interview. So I've only done one live interview. I did another one before. It wasn't like technically live. This one was live, and I'm doing one in person actually in September. So I'm going to be traveling for a little while, and I'm interviewing another mathematician. Someone was talking about chemistry. So here's a pretty cool chemistry book. This one's more advanced. It's called Physical Chemistry. This is the first edition, and look how thick it is. Look how thick that is. Super thick. I got to smell this. Smells amazing. So this is a book on physical chemistry. It's the Shams. And yeah, it is the first edition. 1976. 1976. So this is from 1976. And here's let me just show you the topics. I'm just going to pause here and just check the comments really quick because I'm not reading the comments as I film, but I can see them kind of. Did you find these books online back when you first got them? So multiple places. Estate sales. I have books from estate sales. That's how I got a lot of books from private collections. So a lot of these books I picked up in person. Yes, I got some online years ago, but a lot of times I would go to estate sales and I would pick up like 30, 40, 50, 100 books, like insane amounts of books, especially if it was where a math or science person lived. Like a lot of times you go to these places and like an engineer lived there. And so they have like all these engineering books and all these calculus books from the 50s and 60s. And you can find like hidden treasures there, but it's hard to find those and it takes time. So James Stewart Calculus. So I used the calculus book I used James Stewart, Miguel, when I took Calc 1, Calc 2, and Calc 3. And I thought the Stewart book was good, but I also thought it was hard, right? Like I remember reading the same thing over and over and over again. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And it just never made sense. And I just moved on and I got an A and life went on. But there were things I didn't understand until later. And I think it's going to happen with any book. But I think it's absolutely vital to have a copy of Stewart Calculus. Yeah, I think everyone should have a copy of that book. Yep. And then, let me show you the rest of the topics here. Whoa, forgot. Right. So I've got one more book after this. And I'm going to try to do this. I might do this again tomorrow if I list more books, which I'm going to do. It takes forever. But here are some more topics from this book on physical chemistry. So I'll do another one tomorrow where I show you some more books. Pretty cool. Maybe answer some questions on here. I'm going to check the chat. I'll show you one more book, and then I'll go to the chat, and we'll chat. Chemistry for today. This is a solid textbook on chemistry. So it's an actual modern book on chemistry. It's got tons of topics. I got this one, since someone asked me where I got my books, I'm pretty sure I got this one like at a thrift shop or at an estate sale long ago. So here are the topics. See, here's a rundown of the topics there. And it's just a standard book on chemistry. Kind of like, Stewart Calculus is standard for calculus. This is one of those books. You can see it's very modern in its layout. So, yeah. I'm going to look at the chat now. Greetings from North Carolina. Hello, Philip. Oh, I know you from the comments. I took a Calc 3 based physics course, the follow-up to a Calc 1 and 2 basic physics course, years before I took Calc 3. It's still clicking better than organic chemistry. Yeah, Science Bear. Organic chemistry is hard. I always think of that movie, Good Will Hunting. There's a scene where he meets this girl, and he falls in love with the girl, and the girl is doing, I think she's pre-med, and he can do her organic chemistry homework because he's like such a genius, which is pretty cool. Here you go, Gabriel. This is one on geometry, and this one has answers in the back. So this is a really good book on geometry. It's old school. It's got a ton of content, right? Ton of content. CS books here. No, not in this video, but I have one in my eBay store. I have the C++ programming language by Bjorn Strostrup. I hope I didn't butcher his name. I always butcher it. So basically by the creator of C++, I have a copy of his book. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, I probably should call it quits on this stream. I need to eat and stuff, but I'm going to do another one tomorrow, guys. Like, subscribe, all that stuff if you want. Check out my courses. They're on Udemy, mathsorcerer.com. Use those links. And check out my eBay store. Link is in the description. And you can check out all these books. And I started them all at a penny. I'm going to do this again tomorrow. Take care.